Hey everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Transformers G.I. Joe crossover Bumblebee A.W.E. Striker with Lonzo Stalker Wilkinson. We'll go ahead and put the figures off to the side real quick because we're going to look at the box. Yeah, just once again, much like the Megatron one, it's the same split box. You got Transformers on one side and G.I. Joe on the other, and kind of the weird fake figure cutout thing, which again, I suspect might have been a budget thing. Got all that, so you got Autobot Bumblebee, the classic Hasbro logo and all that stuff down. And here, up here, you got, well, Transformers and G.I. Joe stuff up there. On the side, you have, well, Bumblebee. On this side, you have, well, G.I. Joe style. On the bottom, of course, you have the G.I. Joe and, you know, crossover, Transformer crossover thing, and what's included in the box, and a big old tear, because mine was damaged when I showed up. The sticker was already partially peeled off when I got it out of the box. And this was also bent up and everything. This box was not in good condition when I got it. And on the back here, you of course got product shots and whatnot, including the different modes and what the warnings. And in the background, you can kind of see the old 1984 stuff and whatnot, which is pretty neat. So yeah, and of course again the classic Hasbro. And of course, once again, like before, you can slide it open. You slide it open, you see a big old Hasbro logo, and on top you got the G.I. Joe. On the sides there's nothing. On the bottom, the G.I. Joe and Transformers again. And on the back there's the top secret. Satellite images reveal collaboration between the enemy and other hostile agents in the skies. Rendezvous with the motor pool for debrief. While there may be more than meets the eye, knowing is half the battle. Managed to get both of them on there. And inside is just empty cardboard, I believe, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's just empty cardboard inside. So, whoops, trying to... There you go. Only a vague reference to another figure. I don't think they're going to do any more considering the reception. And of course, inside that package is the blister card for Stalker there. You can see a nice bit of artwork there of him holding his gun. You got the packaging, again, the classic Hasbro G.I. Joe logo, and on the back you have his tech stuff and a nice bit of artwork again. And yeah, role, Ranger, primary specialty, infantry, secondary specialty, medic, interpreter, birthplace, Detroit, Michigan. Generals may win campaigns, but it's the sergeants who win the battles, mostly by yelling and kicking butt. All right. There you go. And on top of that, you have the instructions how to transform him, which is actually not, it's weird. Somewhat straightforward, but also more complicated than you might think it is. Anyway, Bumblebee and Stalker Wilkinson here stand. So yeah, you can see them there. They are all Transformer and a G.I. Joe, as you might imagine. This is how they come packaged, and once again, much like Megatron, there's some faults, but not the same ones, weirdly enough. So go ahead and let's look at Stalker Wilkinson here first. So anyway, you can see. Close, you can see is a nice bit of tamp or paint or whatever on his face. You know, he got his mustache and his eyes, which are nicely, actually correctly tampoed when compared to my Baroness. You got on this there, you got a little grenade and some stuff. I don't know, that's supposed to be. Oh, it's a knife, okay. And you know, all that stuff. You got some nice camo, some things. You got some greens. That's black boots, and on the back you got more of the straps and whatnot. Little green beret there and so on. Bumblebee is, well, you can see it's Bumblebee. He's got big old blue eyes, which these are actually light piped. You know, it's right there. You can see light piping. Not sure how well it works, but it works somewhat. Got the yellow and red there, and some gray, some mostly green and whatnot, and yeah, big old tires. And on the back, you got that, which I'll get into that in a little bit later. But yeah, mostly green and some yellow and whatnot to kind of identify. Yes, it is Bumblebee. Anyway. Some accessories. Of course, he actually comes with this thing right here. Yeah, this and the antenna are all separate pieces. They plug on pretty easily. Got that as a gun. I think you can hold out. I'll double check in a second. But yeah, Stalker here, he's got the little display base, which, pretty straightforward. He's got a peg hole on the foot, and there's a peg there, and just helps him stand up so he's not falling over constantly. He's got a little gun, which looks a lot like an MP5 with a little stock thing, which you can also of course put that in his hand. This is kind of rubbery or plastic, so it can go in his hand a little easier. I say easier as it absolutely refuses to go in his hand. There we go. Yeah, he's got that. kind of wants to pop itself back out, but he can hold it somewhat okay. There you go. Again, yeah, the antennae here, they plug on separately. These are kind of just a rubbery or plastic, so they're not a big deal if they bend a bit. And yeah, you got this thing, which was a separate piece. Yeah, so we got the little hinge there, so it can look up and down, side to side. And I think theoretically this should be a 5mm peg, so it should hold in his hand. I say should, but getting it to hold is a pain because one, the hinge is a problem, and two, it just doesn't want to seem to actually go in his hand. Let's try the other hand, because yeah, this should fit. Looking at it, it should fit. It just is being very, very resistant, to say the least. Oh, there we go. Yeah, he can hold his hand, so you're gonna give him a gun like that if you want, but yeah, according to instructions, you kind of want to peg it on up here. If I can just, yeah, that hinge can be a bit of a problem. So yeah, I genuinely like how this one works. A lot of people are upset this is Bumblebee instead of like Beachcomber, because Beachcomber is a dune buggy and everything, and the A.W.E Striker is a dune buggy, so it should be Beachcomber, right? Except for the whole, Beachcomber is kind of a pacifist type of dude, and I wouldn't be happy with it being a military vehicle, and people want to ignore that because they just want, but Beachcomber though, and it's like also the other thing, which is for these crossover things, they kind of want maximum appeal, and who's more recognizable, Bumblebee or Beachcomber? Well, Bumblebee obviously, so they're going to go with him. A lot of people, when they see here Beachcomber, who's Beachcomber? I don't know who that is, but Bumblebee, oh, Bumblebee, you mean the yellow guy? Yeah, so duh. And also in this mode though, you can plug this guy on back here. There's a little peg right there. Again, just take one of his feet, peg hole, and plug it in. First few times I tried it, it was very resistant to plugging in, but it does work eventually. So there's all that. Oop, there we go. Now on Bumblebee here, there's two big things, which is one, he is kind of loose. Like a lot of his limbs are just generally kind of loose. That's one big issue I've had. It's a kind of a little frustrating that. Two, his tires do get a little in the way, particularly these ones. These ones not so much, but these ones definitely get in the way a bit. And then there's the other thing, which is the stupid roll cage. The stupid roll cage is also separate in the box, right? But, and it clips on right there. But you can see it kind of bangs into stuff, which really is annoying because it's constantly banging into things. So it's like trying to pose them. It's like, there's the roll cage getting in the way again. My thing is, if these bars right here, if there's just a hinge right here so you could just fold them up against the rest of this would, or whichever way, this would not be a problem. But because they're just sticking down right here, it's a problem. It's really frustrating because it's like, otherwise I would say this would be actually a good genuine toy. It's just the stupid roll cage. You can leave it off, but then, well, you can't transform without making it look weird and whatnot. And also you wouldn't be able to attach the antenna. But yeah, it's just annoying because, I really want it to be good. Anyway, I guess getting opposability. Head is on a swivel here for Striker here, or not Striker, Stalker. Yeah, it says on a swivel, left and right. Arms can do a full 360. They're pinned and they go outward like that. There's a bicep swivel. The elbows can bend about that much, and the waist is, well, got that, swivel and up and down and all over the place, thanks to the whole stretchy O-ring thing they did. The hips can go forward that far and back not at all, and outward a little bit, and the knees can bend about that much, and there's no swivels or anything, but you can do that. So yeah, it's a standard old school 80s G.I. Joe posability there. Put him off the side real quick. And Bumblebee here, his head, he's interesting because he's actually more posable most part than Megatron, the G.I. Joe Megatron, because he's got, this swivel head, which it's unfortunate. That Megatron's got a ball joint and he's only got a swivel, but shoulders theoretically could go all the way around. You're going to have to move around stuff, but they go all the way around, outward that far, and you can untab this and go really far outward. There is a bicep swivel, although it's kind of low considering, again, the large size of the wheels. There's an elbow bend about 90 degrees. He does have actual wrist swivels, which is, I was genuinely surprised when I saw that. He has a waist swivel. Megatron does not have one of those. Unfortunately, you can hear, the stupid roll cage is clattering around. Even if it wasn't for that, this hinge right here would get in the way anyway. So you only got so much. You only got about that much before it stops. But it's better than nothing. So is that hips forward that far? They would be able to go back, except again, the stupid roll cage. Throughout the roll cage, they can actually go back about that far. I would say, if my finger's the leg, then go about this far back. But the roll cage in the way. Outward, they, again, banging into each other. They can go, theoretically could go the full splits, but, well, the tires kind of stop that. Unless you move them like that. There's a fly swivel. Knees go about 90 degrees, and there's nothing at the feet really, except unless you start untransforming, which you can kind of get a kind of a pivots going of sorts, although it's going to look a little weird when you do so. But there is, the seats are the feet, which is interesting. Its own right. So, there you go. That's the posability. It's better than Megatron's and mostly almost on par with most modern figures, just unfortunately just a little hindered, and mostly because of the design, which it kind of stinks. Anyway, get that. Get this all squared away. Yeah, a reason he's got this in the right hand because the left hand is, it doesn't hold it very well in that hand. Anyway, the one comparison I'm going to do is with the G.I. Joe Megatron. Yeah, significantly larger. Significantly so. And it has a bareness as well. Just for the sake of it. Yeah, Megatron is significantly taller, for sure. Yeah, so that's a thing. Yeah, so that's just a comparison real quick. So yeah, gonna go ahead and get him transformed into the Striker, and then we'll continue on. So first things first is remove the gun. Get that out of the way. Now, right here, the backpack is a little interesting. You got to kind of deal with the backpack in the sense you kind of you want to start untabbing this, but that's also going to bring the chest and untab that, and that's all going to extend all the way outward like this. And when you're doing this stuff, you also want to take the arms here, these hinges right here at the shoulders. You want to go ahead and bring those out and around and under like this. Like that, you want to have them positioned like this, and then go ahead and bend the elbow just to get out of the way. You're going to want to do that. Yeah, move the arm like this, and then untab that and bring this all around, and tab that back in underneath like that, and then bend the elbow. This is all going to collapse in, and this more or less like that. This might come undone a couple times, by the way. Yeah, so just an FYI on that. So yeah, just kind of leave that like that for now. Now down here at the feet, what you want to do is untab this and bring that back, and then bring it out and kind of finish bringing that out, and then bring it all the way around like this. Same thing on this side. Bring that down, rotate it around, and bring it all the way around like that. And then the feet here, you want to go ahead and bring them down like this and extend those out like so. Then right here, what I'm going to go ahead and do is tab the legs together, and then bring these up and bring this down like that. And then right here, getting kind of closer to how things are supposed to be. You want to go ahead and bend this, and right here there's tabs right here, which will go into these slots right here. So you want to bend this around and kind of clear the roll cage as well. Tab that in, tab these in down here. Yeah. And then right here, the feet, or the seats right here, there's little tabs on the back of the seats will go into little slots right here on the back of this thing. You have to kind of adjust the angle of this too, so then these will just tab in right there. Tab in right there. And then go ahead and bring the front bumper down like that. And then now here is where you want to go ahead and kind of start straightening this out, and then there's the little things on the roll cage. These will slot into right here. Help and hold that together. And then these will rotate around. This tab right here will go in that slot, and then this tab right here will go into this slot. So you want to, I would say, do this one down first, and then bring this forward, and you have to give it a good push, and it'll tab in very securely once it's lined up properly. That came undone again. That likes to come undone until it's all locked into place a lot. Yep. Bring that down and tab it in. There we go. Did not want to tab in. Retab that in. Yeah. This came untabbed yet. Tab that in. Bring this around too and slot it in from the top. Tell that in and then tab it in from the back here. Like that. Probably fix that again. And then around here, now you can go ahead and the arms here will go ahead and tab up into, you rotate the arms and there's little tabs right there, which will tab into that slot right there. And on the seats as well. Yeah, there's a little tab right there on the seat as well, and those will tab in and hold the arms in place. And finally, well, not finally, take the antenna, move those up, and then take the gun here and plug it in right here at the top of the roll cage. And bam, you have Bumblebee in his striker mode. So yeah, the striker, it is a green buggy of sorts. Again, I'm not super familiar with G.I. Joe stuff, although from the pictures I've seen, this is pretty accurate to the standard striker other than this bit. But yeah, it is largely a green army vehicle. You can see the A.W.E. striker right there on the front. You got the United States with the star. You got little blue headlights. You got this little bumper. You got the green. You got some stars. You got the G.I. Joe logo there. You got an American flag and a code of some sort of gasoline, I guess. And there's, again, Bumblebee's chest and a little star. Little, I think it's for oil. Yeah. And then right here is, heat. And yeah, again, the G.I. Joe and the flag and the star. And on the bottom, it actually cleans up pretty well. I mean, there's stuff there, but you're looking at this like this. You're looking at it like this, you probably would be hard pressed to tell that it's a, not just a regular G.I. Joe vehicle. Again, it rolls pretty well thanks to the big old tires. And again, regarding plastic quality, this feels again like the same kind of plastic that they use for most G.I. Joe vehicles anyway, so I'm not really too cut up about it. Again, from memories from my childhood, going to a friend's house and all that stuff. So, yeah, pretty darn good looking. The antenna can go forward and backwards. This can go up and down and rotate around. The steering wheel here can rotate. This can go up, angle up and down. So yeah, there's all that stuff. Works really nicely. Now, for interaction with Stalker here, you got a couple options. So one, there's a peg here on the back, which I guess you can stand on top of the engine and hope you don't burn your feet and peg him on here. Peg him on here, I said. Yeah, it doesn't want to peg on very well. You can peg him on somewhat back here, and not good peg, by the way. You peg him on back here, and he can man the gun. There's that. There, here, on each side of the little runner boards, there's a little peg. You can peg on there, and have the whole. He's kind of. That whole thing. And of course, you can have him. Look at the gun out of his hand for this. Come on, get up. And of course, you can do the whole put him in the seat thing. Yeah, it's just he's getting caught on stuff right now. You can almost, but not quite, hold the steering wheel. So there's that. There you go. There's your G.I. Joe stuff. And by the way, transformation. Almost forgot to mention the other stuff. The transformation itself is it's not hard. It's just the problem is a lot of it's flopping around, particularly, while you're in the middle of things, because it's just this big old spine just holding it all together. So it's like all into two pieces and just flopping around. We're working on one piece or another. So that's really kind of frustrating, but it does work and it's not too bad, honestly. But yeah, there's your vehicle stuff. And of course, the G.I. Joe can sit here or get on the runners. You can have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different G.I. Joes all kind of clomped onto here, which is pretty neat. Of course, I don't have any G.I. Joe, so barely. So there's that. But yeah, real quick comparison though. Here it is, the his tank Megatron. Again, you can see it's significantly larger, but yeah. So there's that whole thing. Now, here's the thing. Should you get this? Well, it's cheaper than Megatron. I forgot. Apparently, in the last review, I said Megatron was $80. He's actually $90. I kind of forgot. It's $89.99. So he's $90, which didn't change my thing that much. I still think he should be. This one, I believe, is about $70, which is like yeesh. He is smaller, noticeably, as you saw, but I would say he is actually a better figure overall. If you're going to get one of them, this would be the one to get. But there are still mainline toys which I think are better overall than this thing. But if you're really hell-bent on the G.I. Joe Transformers crossover thing, this is, I think, the better of the two options, honestly, unless you just really want both. The only thing is, it's still kind of on the spendier side. I think it'd be better $40-$50 personally. Like $40-$50 would be a little more easier to swallow. But he's a better figure overall, other than the stupid roll cage and robot mode. That's the only thing I wish, and that's the only thing. Because it comes off, I almost wish someone would make a kit just to, replace the roll cage with something better. But I doubt there are, just because this thing has not received a very good reception. So I doubt most the usual third party upgrade dudes are going to do anything with this guy because of that. So I don't know. Yeah, he's overall a better figure, and actually I enjoyed it more overall than the Megatron. It's still a cool concept. It's executed slightly better here. The hollowness, and that's one thing I also forgot to mention also, is the hollowness isn't really present here. You can kind of see it, but it's a lot more better covered up, and he's just overall feels more solid than Megatron does. And on top of the extra posability, I think he's just overall generally a better figure. So there's just that. So, and he's cheaper. He's still on the spendier side, unfortunately, that $70 price point or whatever. So if he gets down to like $50, I would say go ahead and pick him up. It's pretty neat. This is definitely the one of the two. This is the one to get. But I would say Megatron's got a bit of a bad rap, unfortunately. Just again, the Transformers fans not used to that kind of plastic, so they just immediately go in, it's bad because it's different. I still think this is a pretty good one though, or decent-ish, just a little too expensive, and overall other than also mine is very loose as well. The joints tend to be very loose, and their stupid roll cage gets in the way a lot. But it's just generally a better figure, and I actually kind of enjoyed messing with it a lot more than the Megatron. So take that for what you will. So that's it for this review. Got a little babbly at the end. Hope you found it informative and entertaining. Hope you like, comment, subscribe, but check me out on Twitter. Still, somehow. I'm an Instagram1. I'm also a co-host. cohost.com/nemesis-prime. Yeah, I got one of those. I'm going to start posting things there too. Not going to abandon Twitter, but just in case. So, yeah. There's also, of course, my Patreon and my coffee. Check me out in those. And I shall see you next time with another video review.